count calories like you spending money. Yeah. So I just went to the store and I was looking at these Reese's cups and I was like, that look real good. And it was 200 calories for like two of them. So it was like 400 calories for the pack. And I was like, $400? I can't afford that shit. So I put it back. Also, get yourself a scale. I be weighing everything. Onion, how much is this? Lemon, how much is this? So I can see what those calories are. I can see what, tell me something. That's one way. So I have hidradenitis suppurativa, diabetes, and PCOS. And so all of those things can cause insulin resistance, which can make it a little bit harder to lose weight. Like you have like the stubborn weight, and it can cause you to gain weight. And so like that's a whole nother issue. And so what I eat is actually very important. And so right now I'm making dinner. And I understand like time constraints and all of this stuff. And so tonight I did a really quick dinner. And I made some sweet potato, right? You just pop it in the microwave for 5 minutes. I did some roasted veggies. Again, pop it in the oven for like 10 minutes. It's in there while I'm cooking the salmon. But it's really important as far as like food for me to like sort of limit excess sugar, to limit nightshades, to limit dairy. And those are all things that makes it harder to lose weight or make you gain weight, like a lot of dairy, excess sugar, like cutting those things out wasn't only beneficial for me wanting to lose weight, but it's how I'm working on reversing my diabetes. It's how I'm working on not having so many flares when it comes to my hidradenitis suppurativa. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a chronic inflammatory condition. And it basically, there's a disruption or issues with the hair follicles. They rupture and they cause these boil-like abscess, and you can get them anywhere you have a hair follicle, and they're very painful. And that's another thing that makes it a little bit harder when it comes to losing weight, is like you don't always have the mobility to move, to work out. It also is something that causes a lot of fatigue, so you don't have the energy because you're just constantly drained living with chronic illnesses. And so it's a lot to navigate. And I do notice that when I eat better, I feel lighter. I feel like I have more energy, right? Versus eating a Little Debbie cake or eating fast food that it may feel good in the moment. Tastes good, but it leaves me feeling heavy and weighed down, and I just don't feel good about myself. And then ultimately it causes me to flare up with, food triggers when it comes to my hidradenitis suppurativa. It causes my hormones to be out of balance. It causes, again, my diabetes to spike. And these are just a lot of different issues. So for me, it's more than just sort of counting calories or trying to lose weight. It's trying to really navigate life with these chronic illnesses. Now, diabetes is something that I've been working on for a couple years now, and I've actually worked and reversed it. So I'm no longer considered diabetic, but I still have PCOS. I've worked through diet and exercise, and I have, a regular monthly cycle, like just normal things when it comes to that now. I still have hidradenitis suppurativa. There's no cure for that, right? And the best way that I've personally found to manage it has been subtle lifestyle changes, right? What I eat, products I use on my skin. That's why I talk about skin a lot, and exercising. Now, when I first started exercising, my flares got worse. They were terrible because the friction, the sweat, all of these things that can cause issues with my hair follicles and just my skin, on skin contact, it did. And also, there's also, like when you lose weight, those toxins and things in your body as the fat breaks down are being kind of released back in your body. And so I just had a lot of inflammation that I was dealing with. But once a few months have passed, I'm not flaring up really because of exercising anymore. And so one of those things you gotta kind of work your way through. But those are the big things, right? Counting your calories, treating it like currency so that you don't overspend or overeat when it comes to those calories. Making sure that you are knowing your triggers if you're living with chronic illnesses, but even if you're not, you don't want to eat a lot of dairy. You don't want to eat a lot of processed food or excess sugar. If you can, cut out the sugar completely, right? Like I made the joke about the Reese's. I really was looking at the Reese's. I was sitting in the store going back and forth, and I just walked out and I said, Crystal, go home and cook dinner. You need some water. You're not even really hungry. You're thirsty, but you need to eat something. So I'm making the veggies with the sweet potato and some salmon, but just sort of training your brain. And that's easier said than done, honestly, right? Training your brain. So for me, a lot of it has to do with faith. And so, sometimes I gotta pray for strength. People are like, what are you listening to in the music or in the gym when you're working out? Sometimes it literally is gospel music because I need all the strength to get through a set. Or I need all the strength to not go back down the road of reaching for food when I'm stressed or, when whatever is going on in life. And so a lot of that has been prayer and helping me with my own power and my own desires when it comes to food, because I had a very unhealthy relationship, right, with food. Whenever I'm feeling any type of emotion, big feelings, how I calm down, how I just sort of course correct whatever is eating, and it's usually something junk food because it just gives me that hit that I need, right? Freaking crack. And so I've just sort of been making these adjustments. I went to the gym today. I wasn't feeling very good about myself, just, life, career, feeling a little bit like a failure, and so when it comes to my advocacy and just life, right? And so I went to the gym, and instead of reaching for food that normally would be my pick me up, and I was like, we'll see. And so I was working out, and I was doing squats, and I had a little bit more weight and a little bit more weight, and then I got to the point where I was squatting more than I've ever squatted, since weightlifting in high school. And I was geeked, right? I was excited, it changed my whole mood. And I know, right, food could have changed my mood. But immediately afterwards, I would have felt bad because it's like, Crystal, you shouldn't be eating that. Crystal, this is going to cause you to have a flare. Oh my goodness, it's going to spike your sugar, blah, 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 this whole thing. And so, but doing this, right, exercising can help stabilize your blood sugar and, keep those things in check. It can help with managing, the stress in your body, which stress can be a trigger for those living with hidradenitis suppurativa. And so I love feeling actually better. And it wasn't just a moment of being better, right? It was it was lasting. It was longer lasting than getting some fries or a milkshake or something. But also drinking a lot of water. I personally don't do this a lot, and I personally need to be better with it. But drinking more water, I can't enough be said about how that helps your body. And sometimes you're not hungry. Like I said earlier, when I was looking at the Reese's, I wasn't really hungry. I was thirsty, and because I hadn't really drank anything all day. And so realizing that sometimes it's not hunger, you just need to drink something. And also, it might be hunger, but still drink something. Drink water, real water, not all the excess flavored stuff. And I'm telling you guys this because I'm working on that as well, because your girl loves some flavored water. I love some sparkling water, and I tell myself, Crystal, it's 0 calories and at 0 sugar, got some other stuff in there. I don't really know, but just drinking plain water. So I'm trying to drink more water in general. And once I get over that hump of not remembering to drink water, I want to progress to drinking plain water, a little bit more than I do the sparkling flavored water. But that's just how I've worked through my weight loss, right? You guys see where I'm at? Not where I want to be yet, right? But I've come a long way. I've lost, 120 pounds, probably same 20 pounds, 55 different times. But I've lost about, I want to say 120 pounds. You guys saw the picture before, and you see where I'm at now. But Keep going.